Most of your deals in the pipeline are fake. They're not deals, they're just maybes. And maybe is the most expensive word in your business. You don't lose to a no, you lose to a call me next week. I've been selling to homeowners for almost 20 years. Roofs, solar, home security, pest control, all of it. Sitting at kitchen tables, door to door, and running sales teams of 300 plus. I've helped companies do millions a year in home services. And what I'm about to give you is not theory, it's the 4 closing principles I expect every rep to live, and what I expect owners to enforce. When you follow them, you make more money. When you break them, there is always a cost. Here's a quick distinction that is very important. A rule is man-made and sometimes has consequences. Speed limit says 60, you go 75. Sometimes you get a ticket, sometimes you just get there faster. No automatic consequence. A principle is completely different. There is always a consequence. You break a principle, you pay every single time. You follow a principle, you win every single time. These 4 principles must be followed. You don't get to pick and choose the ones you like. You either live them and make money, or you drift and lie to yourself. Principle number 1 is yes or no, no maybes. Every conversation with a customer must end with a decision, yes or no. No maybes. Here's why. When you sit with the homeowner, they naturally land in one of the 3 buckets. This is what I call the 10-80-10 principle. 10% are going to say yes to any offer that's put in front of them. 10% are going to say no, no matter what. And 80% are always going to tell you, I need to think about it, or they're going to give you that maybe. That 80% in the moment is going to feel like an opportunity. It's not. Those maybes is where your time goes to die. Let me talk to my wife. How about you text me tomorrow? Let me think about it or pray about it. This all sounds like progress. It's not. It's a stall. The lie salespeople tell themselves is, if I stay in touch, some of these maybes will eventually turn to a yes. Here's the truth. The maybe is where you get stuck instead of get in front of your next real buyer. Because while you're babysitting the maybe, you're not knocking the next door. You're not booking the next estimate. And you're not sitting at the next kitchen table. Time that you spend chasing these maybes is time that you're not spending finding the yes. Here's the part that nobody's willing to admit. You will make more money if these 80 and these 10, 90% of people tell you no right now, rather than 80% of them telling you maybe. Why? Because no is clean. No lets you move on. No frees you to find that next yes. Maybe keeps you on the hook, keeps you following up, keeps you emotionally attached, the money that you haven't even earned. So here's the standard. Your job in that appointment is to help the customer make a decision today. Yes, we're doing it, or no, we're not. And in order to get there, you have to actually be okay with the no. Most salespeople aren't. Most business owners aren't. That's why they accept the stall. It protects their ego. Here's some language that you can use at that kitchen table. Look, I'm totally fine if the answer is no. My job isn't here to pressure you. My job is actually to help you save time, energy, and money. By helping you get to a decision today, I'll make sure that you're not wasting your time thinking and talking about this for the next 3 weeks. If it's a no, look, we're going to shake hands and I'm gone. If it's a yes, I'm going to show you the next steps. But I'm going to think about it usually just means that you don't have enough information or trust in the process. What this does is 3 things. 1, it's going to lower pressure. 2, it's going to position you as the pro. And 3, it's going to kill the maybe without sounding desperate. Business owners, if you are not personally okay with hearing no, your reps will always live in that maybe land. Hey guys, it's Chris. If you're finding value in what you're hearing, go ahead and like and subscribe. That way people just like you can find this content for free here on YouTube. Now let's dive back in the show. Principle number 2, 24 to 48 hours. This is all about speed and emotion. When someone says, yeah, I'd be interested in seeing a proposal, the follow-up call or meeting to review the proposal needs to take place within the next 24 hours and absolutely 48 hours max. No, I'll email it. No, let's take a look at it next week. Why? Because buying is emotional. Every purchase in home service starts as a feeling. I don't want my roof leaking this winter. I want my family cool in July. I want to stop being embarrassed by this bathroom. That's literally all emotion-based. People justify with logic, but they're going to decide with emotion. And emotion fades fast. Day 1 feels like, I don't care what it costs. I'm done with this problem. Day 5, well, let's slow down here a little bit and get 3 more bids. So you have to strike while that emotion is still hot and active. How you schedule this matters. Here's some talk tracks that you can use. So it looks like you work typically from 8 to 5. Well, it looks like tomorrow I have a 6 o'clock open. I'm going to go ahead and pencil that in for you, okay? Not what works for you or anytime works for me on my schedule. Because when you say anytime is fine, what they hear is my time has no value. And if your time doesn't have value, neither does your offer. Also, that small sacrifice of I'm going to be home at 6 is part of the close. Getting them to commit time right now is a micro buy-in. Your sales process should force a 24 to 48 hour follow-up. Anything slower is bleeding heat out of the deal. Principle number 3, 100% deal done. Stop celebrating half-signed work like it's money in the bank. Here's how most people act. Yeah, closed it. We're good. Cool. Did they sign? Did you collect the deposit? Is financing approved? Is the install on the calendar? Did you lock selections and scope? Or are you just saying, we're good, and then telling yourself, I'll grab the rest from them later? If anything is still all grab it later, it's not closed. In your company, you need a single definition of done. Example, contract signed, deposit or financing locked, scope finalized, material selections documented, or job scheduled. That is 100%. Anything less is in progress, and in progress does not hit the board as revenue. This is why it matters. Loose deals fall apart, loose deals create chaos in ops, and loose deals make your sales guy feel like a hero and dump cleanup on the install team. Here's the principle. Button it down before you leave. And if something unbuttons later, for example, there's a financing hiccup or change order, anything like that, you need to rebutton it immediately. You cannot let open loops float for days. This is the discipline. This is where profit gets protected. Last but not least, principle number 4, quit lying to yourself. Most owners don't have a closing problem. They have an honesty problem. Sales is simple math. Let's say in your world, the real pattern is you get 10 leads. From the 10 leads, you get 5 sits. And from the 5 sits, you get 1 close. That means that you're closing 1 out of 10 leads. But here's what most business owners and sales reps do. They're going to go ahead and say, this week, I'm going to run 10 appointments and I'm going to close 3 deals. That sounds confident, but it's fake. You're planning around the fantasy version of you, not the truth. Your targets have to match reality and math, not ego. If the truth is that 10 leads get you 1 sale and you want 3 deals, you can't just hope that it's going to work out. You have to get 30 leads. If you want 5 sales, you have to get 50 leads, period. That's how real companies think. Inputs equals outputs. No feelings equals outputs. This is why it matters. When you lie to yourself about the math, you underhire, you undermarket, you underbook, and then you blame the market instead of the fact that you didn't put in enough at the top of the funnel. And this is bigger than sales. Owners do this with money, with health, with marriage. If I don't look at the bank account, I guess we're fine. That's not stability. That's hiding. Truth is the only place where change can start. Everyone says, I just want to sell more. That's not actually what you want. This is what you really want. Faster decisions, less chasing, fewer deals falling apart after the handshake, and predictable numbers that you can build a team around. That doesn't come from being a better closer. That comes from building standards into the way you sell. So you need to pick one of the 4 principles that you're breaking right now. If you're being honest with yourself, you are breaking at least 1. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be watching this video. If your pipeline is full of follow-ups, fix principle number 1. If you're letting proposals sit for a week, you got to fix principle number 2. If ops is always cleaning up surprises, fix principle number 3. If your goals aren't backed by math, fix principle 4. Fix it today, because closing shouldn't depend on you being on. It should depend on principles your whole team can live by. Hey, if you found value in this video, make sure you subscribe, comment any questions that you have, and be sure to watch the next video.